Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Radio Bodybuilding. I'm your host, Amir Flex, alongside my co-host, my best friend, the one and only King Kemali.
Yo, yo.
Today, we got a truly special guest, someone who's not only a bodybuilding legend on the stage, also one of the most respected, prestigious coaches in the sport of bodybuilding. He has shaped champions, he influenced bodybuilding philosophy, and left a mark on this sport that goes way beyond trophies. Please welcome Mr. Milo's Sárcef.
Thank you for inviting me. This is super special because it's for Iranians, my brothers and sisters that I love so much for many years. I never really had a chance to be there, but one of these days, as I told you before the podcast, it's my destiny to go there. I really feel it. I need to go. I would love to go. And I feel that love and respect that I get from Iranian people all the time. And I hope you see how much I love you guys.
Oh man, we love you so much. We love you so much. How you doing, King?
Good, man. Good. I'm happy that we have Milos. He's been a good friend to me for many years. I always said to people, there's good guys, there's bad guys, and there's ugly guys in the sport. He's one of the good guys. He's definitely one of the fucking good guys. Not a hateful bone in this man's body. And the funny thing is I've tried to make him mean for many years now. I personally have tried so many times and had arguments with him. Milos, you got to get mad, Milos, but he's just such a nice guy. It's impossible, and I love him.
Truly.
Well, King, we are here to spread the love, not hate. Support, and this is how I look at it. Even people who do me wrong, I never felt any sense of revenge or doing something bad. You know, they're gonna eventually learn, and that's how it always is. They come back to me, apologize, and we go from there. But spread the love, and you're gonna go far.
Yes, sir.
Wise words from a wise man.
All right.
Okay, Flex, you go, man. Take it over, brother.
All right, man. Let's start from the beginning. A lot of younger generation really don't know where you're coming from. You're a champion of 80s, 90s. You're this super amazing coach right now. Let's start from the beginning. Let's go back. Tell us about your childhood, your first exposure to sport, and how bodybuilding really entered your life.
Yeah, well, listen, as a son of academic doctors, family, I was directed many different ways. And one of the ways that my father wanted to show me is the physical. You know, man has to be an athlete, has to be in sports. And he first basically signed me up for karate classes, martial arts, to learn the discipline, because martial arts is all about the discipline. So this is how I started when I was like 6 years old. And then a couple of years later, I realized, wait a second, karate is not Olympic sport. And I don't know why, since the beginning, I always felt that patriotic duty to represent my country in something. So since age of 6, imagine that, I wanted to represent my country. So at the age of 8, I turned into judo, because there was Olympic sport, and we had a Olympic medalist from Novi Sad that was right by my house. Later, I actually went to Mr. Slavko Bada when I was in his team. So I was in judo for about 8 years. And as you know, you have some strength training, which we did, but not until the moment when somebody had a Flex magazine in a gym, and I've seen, hold on a second, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And then you see what human body can look like, because I've never seen this in Yugoslavia. There's no reason for man to be that muscular, right? But the moment when I seen that picture, it was instantly, I want to be just like Arnold. I want to do whatever it takes to build muscle. So at the age of 17, I really committed myself to training bodybuilding. And probably unlike King, you maybe, Amir, and every Iranian, because I do think that Iranian men are about the toughest men out there. And they're athletes and they're fighters. And you just look at the bodybuilders from Iran, dozens of world champions, not just, Hadi Chupan or Baito or Behruz or Reza or, a few other people that we know. I think anybody in Iran, man, tough and muscular,
Tough.
like man's supposed to be.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. Milos, you're not just a former pro. You're one of the most active competitors in IFBB history. I think you and Dexter, over 70 pro shows you competed in, which to me as a pro is insane. But that was you. That was we all knew you as that guy. You had 10 Mr. Olympia appearances, and after competing, you became one of the most sought after coaches of all time. Everybody knows you, the mind, the Milos. You're one of the greatest coaches. I attest to that too. You are. We want to dive into that journey, your beginnings. When did you start to put together your philosophy, your nutritional philosophy? When did you start to put A, B, and C together to become, so you build the foundation of who Milos is today?
Yes, I'll tell you this. Right away, initially, you know, when you want something bad, like I said, I've seen Arnold and I wanted to be like this. So I thought, I'm just going to go out there and train like a mad dog as long as possible, as much as possible. So I was training for like about 4 hours a day. Obviously, I didn't have a bodybuilding diet. I had a breakfast, lunch, and dinner from my mother's house, whatever was served, right? And soon enough, I realized after 3 months, I got smaller. And that's when I had to like stop and rethink. And then I talked to my father, who was Dr. Science of neuropsychiatry, who always told me that if you do everything or anything, put your heart and soul and do 100%. Learn about the subject, don't just guess. It's
Right.
one thing knowing, and the other thing is guessing. So immediately I did nutritional ABCs. What builds muscle? Protein. Carbohydrates and fat is energy, nutrients, okay? You take too much, you put it where you don't want it, you don't have enough, you don't have a performance. So right away, instantly, since I was 17 years old, I realized that my diet should be 3-hour diet, like 24 hours diet that you have a maintenance phases and possibly anabolic phases. From the very beginning, it was clear. I visualize the food that I eat. If it's protein, it's going to be broken down to amino acids, and amino acids are going to circulate in the blood and then go wherever physiologically is needed. I'm a bodybuilder. I need extra to build muscle. So I made sure that I have a sufficient amount of protein constantly all day long, far more than what medical community was suggesting, what nutritionists were telling us. I was going to 1 gram, 1.5, 2, 3, 4 grams per kilo of body weight. I think in Iran is by kilos. I don't know. Here it is. So 4 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. That was my standard. And then I filled in with my carbohydrates and fats as energy. But me being a bodybuilder and knowing that brain and muscles prefer glucose, carbohydrates as energy, I right away eliminated fats to a minimum, and I structured my carbohydrate diet throughout. And King knows very well that I was all about this hyperemia advantage, increased blood flow to the muscle when we are training, because all the blood is going to go to the exact muscle that we are training. So if I saturate that blood with everything I want, pre-digested state, amino acids, glucose, the creatine, glutamine, beta, and all these supplements that make a difference, every time I lift, every rep I make is going to go straight there. And it's almost like having a nail and a hammer and nailing it into the muscle. I never read this anywhere. I confirmed with my father if that makes sense. He said that make very good sense, and that's what I started from very beginning. And mind you, I'm going to tell you this. I started 1981, September 18, 1981, my first workout, because I documented everything. I was that guy. Every gram of protein, carbs, and fat, everything was in my journals.
Let me stop you right there. Yes, folks, he documents everything. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Go ahead.
You see it in my house.
I saw it.
You've seen all these journals. Now I don't have all of them.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but absolutely, even the everything. Go ahead. Everything.
Yeah, and the reason why, for example, King, you were there, I wanted to show you so you feel even more comfortable, right? Many times people and coaches are speaking and people don't believe them, right? And it's a different thing when you see that I'm not just talking the talk and walking the walk, and this is the proof. I'm not going to lie to myself, making 10 meals a day, 365 days a year, and then for 10 years, and then present it to you, right? But for me, it was like this: be honest to yourself and inspect what you expect. If you're improving, beautiful. If you're not, change it.
There's something wrong.
And I was fortunate enough that right away I found that method of I'm going to say, kill the muscle, okay, and feed the muscle, and then rest. Back in the day, King, you and I don't know if it's Iran right now, but we train like a mad dogs, and we train twice a day, 6 days a week sometimes.
Absolutely.
I know you changed it because you train much heavier than me many times, but I was that guy. I averaged 550 workouts a year for 15 years straight.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's inspiring.
So
well, another great Milos story to interject in here. These are the things that you and I have talked about in the years. You can elaborate on this. Nasser came to you, and he had no idea how to do the insulin and all that, and you showed him. And what did he say to you? Bullshit. That's bullshit. Please tell that story. Tell the Nasser bullshit story.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you. So I have Amir, these are kind of these journals that I did back in the day, right?
Check
so
this out.
Every day there's every meal, everything I take, and these kind of things. I go a little bit closer.
That's awesome,
okay.
man.
And at the end, you see how much protein, carbs, and fat. So 550 grams of protein, 450 grams of carbs, only 30 grams of fat, 4,000 calories, 550, 320, right? These kind of things. So Nasser somebody is Yugoslavian, right? 1991, when I turned pro, I was beating him. 91, 92, 93. 93 at the FIBO show, he came to me with his wife, asked me if I would explain him certain things, and I explained him everything to a T. And King is going to confirm, I don't just tell you, I insist that you understand and that it makes sense to you, and then that I feel you're going to really do it. Because if I just tell you and I'm not convinced that you got it, it's not enough. But I told this to Nasser, okay, and left. 1994, he comes to San Diego to live in San Diego where I was. I invited him for dinner, and he came, and accidentally, I swear, my journal was on my dinner table. And then when he came in and, he said, oh, what is this? I said, my diary. And then he started flipping through it, and then he's looking at his wife and saying something in German. And I don't speak German, but I understand Arschloch. Arschloch means asshole.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a second, what are you doing? And so then Birgit, that was her name, Bisera, he converted her name into the Serbian name, Bisera, right? She told me, but Miloš, I have to tell you, everything you told us back in 1993, Nasser did exactly the opposite.
Damn.
Because he didn't believe that I would tell the truth. And then even now he says, yeah, you know that I'm coming, so you put this on the table. I'm serious.
That sounds exactly like Nasser. Exactly.
So I go to the room and I brought 10 more years. 10 more years, just like I showed to King when he came to my house. And so, okay, look, this is 10 meals a day. Nasser, you think that I'm going to write 10 meals a day, 365 days a year for 10 years straight, because I knew that in 1994, Nasser somebody, my competitor, is going to come here and I can pull the trick on you. Are you fucking crazy? Right? And that's when he realized, like, okay. But insulin, every time I did insulin, it make me fat. I say, of course it can make you fat. Depends what you do and how you do it. So January of 95, we were training partners. We trained at San Diego Golds twice a day, 6 days a week. And for anybody in Iran that don't remember this, look at Nasser 1994 Olympia, and then look at him in the next show, 1995 Houston and Night of the Champions, which was about 6-7 months apart. that was probably the biggest improvement in the shortest period of time of all time.
Huge jump.
Wow.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huge jump, yes. And I mean, that's a Nasser story. And God bless his soul. I love Nasser. We all miss him. He was very special. I think he is uncrowded Mr. Olympia. I think that he really deserved it. That 97,
I do too.
there was no question. So it hurts me, but I always and only remember good memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a legend for
Yeah.
sure. It's fascinating. Your story is so fascinating. You know, I love your mind. You're not thinking like everybody else, all the bodybuilder. And it's so detailed. I saw your program like many times with many different bodybuilders, and it's super detailed. And if somebody doesn't understand you, they can't have like see the benefit out of it. It's all about progressive, like that's what you're doing, right?
It's consistency, right? Something that works, you just continue. I mean, people would think I changed diets dramatically, So King mentioned that I was one of the guys that competed the most. At the time, I was absolutely nobody was even close. I did like 48 shows first 4 years, and then I mean, I was competing in every organized show because my theory in training was, and I know that King, you maybe don't agree with this. Sometimes you do want your off season, and do you want that heavy duty and all that stuff. I tried it 1 year and I didn't like it because I was just going for the purpose with Sonny Schmidt, with the purpose of just pack on the muscle, eat big to get big, and then I got a little bit fat. And then I realized when I was stripping off that fat, I catabolized my muscle also, and then I end up about the same. So I said, like, listen, as you guys know, I have tens of thousands of pictures. I was on the covers of the magazine all the time. I mean, nobody has more pictures than me on Instagram, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can show you here the 200 CDs that I have here that I still didn't go through. Okay. So I was saying, if you're a bodybuilder, you want to be in shape year round. When you're lean and when you move and shit is happening, right? That's a beautiful feeling.
It is.
When I watch many of the guys that go in off season, Nasser, somebody, one of them, that basically look like a fat pig. I mean, I'm sorry, right? And you don't even look like an athlete. You can't even breathe. You can't even bend over and stuff like that, right? I didn't like that. So 1 year I tried it and I decided not to. Instead, when you look at my nutrition programs, after the contest, beautiful, right? You're lean, you have no body fat to lose. So there is no more fat burning phase of the days. I have a maintenance phase, and then I have an anabolic phase before training, right after training. Okay. So in that case, I can now eat up more. And every time that rebound phase, post-workout, post-competition, I would grow. In the next show, I would be bigger, a little bit bigger, but consistently a little bit bigger. You know how they say insulin makes your stomach big. Did you see, that my stomach ever got big? From 1993 until 2003, I did it pretty much every day, almost, pretty much, and for every show and stuff like that. So I disagree with that off season because I always wanted to be in shape so I can do the guest posing, I can do the pictures for the magazine, and I could compete. In 3 calendar years, I did every show that was organized, absolutely everything. And that's why for my athletes, I always encourage them to do more and more and more. And now to mention right away, Behruz, that it breaks my heart. From 2021, I prepare him for all these shows, for Olympias, and for a couple of others, like Spain and Prague, and then he didn't get the visa.
Yeah.
And just imagine, I mean, he would be in contest shape, ready to go, waiting for the visa, and then he doesn't get it. And just to throw in that as well, another good friend of mine and my athlete, Iranian legend Reza Zinatlu, for example, also for him, the show that he turned pro, Hungary, right? He didn't get the visa until like Tuesday.
Damn.
And then he made it. And this is what normal people don't understand, what Iranian people are fighting with, And King, you told me that long ago, that there is so many Iranian bodybuilders that we don't even know the names. They can come here on stage and clean the house.
When I went to Iran, I went to all these, we call them Shahristans, all these little cities, and I was astonished. And they all put on posing clinics when I got there so I can see, it was out of respect to me. They wanted to show me what they got. And I kept looking around and at my guy, the guy who was with me, translating and hosting it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, these guys could win the NPC Nationals easily clean house at the NPC Nationals, at the USA. He goes, yeah. And it was town after town. So when I got back and I went to RX Muscle, I did a show with Dave Palumbo. I said, Dave, there's about 15 to 20 Hadi Chupons running around. I'm telling you, the wave is coming. And guess what? The wave came.
Yes.
And we still haven't seen all the waves.
There's a lot going on in Iran. And the funny
big waves haven't come yet.
For sure. The funny thing is, these are small town King talking about, and they have no idea what they're doing. If you look at their program, it's so, strange. They have no idea about the training, about the execution, about the nutrition. They're getting better, but it's all, basic stuff. And about drug, you don't want to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not doing it 100%. Imagine what happened if they're doing it 100%. They get, connected to the pro coach like you. It's going to be amazing, and the season going to be different for sure.
I would love nothing more but that to happen, because when somebody works so hard, you want them to be rewarded. And I know just from mentioning Behruz, as soon as I saw Behruz, and actually Reza Zinotli is the one that made that connection. I said, like, listen, I love his physique. I mean, hashtag bodybuilding, what I talk about, this is what we want to see on any bodybuilding stage. Oh my God, that shape, that's super small waist, the crazy arms, everything. He needs to be recognized as the best bodybuilder in the world, or one of the best. I mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again. Hadi and Behruz pretty much could have won every pro show they ever entered. They're going to call me a biased coach, but I'm not coach of Hadi. Why would I say that?
Right.
Every time when I've seen Hadi, he could have won the show, including the shows that he lost to Cedric McMillan in San Marino, the first Olympia. You were there, right?
Yeah.
The last year from Samson, it was super close, 1 point difference. Previous with Derek, he should have go Hadi's way, and back and back and back and back. When you look at it, Behruz, he did Romania 21. And he placed third behind Rafael and Samson.
That was close.
He clearly beat him. I mean, I was Samson coach also, and Samson just won Prague week before. But conditioning and beauty of the physique that he brought there, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I don't know how judges are looking, maybe newcomer and all that stuff. I'm not saying anything as far as politics, but it's just in their minds, okay, good, but not close enough. We're going to give it to these guys. 2022, he won Romania in spectacular fashion. 23, he goes to Brazil, wins that. 23, he lost to Samson very closely in Romania. Upper body and conditioning beat Samson. And we talk about a little bit quads and so, yeah, this is where I could see him lose. But if he would have won, let me put it this way. At that time, I was, preparing Samson, and Marlena, Samson's wife, was calling me like, oh, she's very concerned because she see Behruz, how good he looked. I mean, he could have go either way, right? Behruz losing to William Boniak that first show last year in, that was Italy.
Yeah.
Spain, I disagree with. And then he won every other show that he ever competed. And I hope to God that he's going to make it to Olympia this year, and there's just show the Americans what beauty does he have. Pictures and videos are never going to do him a justice until you see him in person. And Amir and King, I don't know if you know, first time I've seen him was in Dubai. He came to my room when he stripped off, that moment, like when you really feel your heart drops. Like, I know your body, and I know what you look like, but this in front of me was something else. Like,
Yeah.
holy hell. Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I felt that, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, was Victor Martinez in 2007. You know, when I saw his body stripped down, I was like, Victor, you could do this. I'm telling you, you might take him. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, Cutler, you know. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, Victor, you might do it, because he was that good. That's the last time I felt that. Milos, I want to keep you jump to all these things. I want to go back one step backwards. So you decided at one point you want to come to the United States.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So when you came here at that time, and I have to emphasize that time, United States was the mecca of bodybuilding. Okay. And everybody thought that, the whole world thought that. Okay. So what made you take that leap?
October 17. I'm crazy about the dates and all this stuff. I came for a Mr. Universe contest, right? So I'll tell you, let's, go back a little bit. I've never been to any international show, right? When you're just in your backyard and you compete with your guys, you can't sense it. I start winning right away, province shows and Serbian show and Vojvodina show, okay? Serbian show. So I wanted to test myself internationally. So there was a Italian European Championship 1987, and there was WBF Federation, that
World Bodybuilding.
Yeah, you don't really know, you don't even hear that. Yeah, IBB is most prestigious. I didn't really know, but there was some international contest, so I'm going to test the waters. I went there. There was a boat ride from Bar in Montenegro to Bari in Italy through the Adriatic Sea. The cheapest ticket, that you're on the top, all night. I got there. I didn't speak English. I didn't speak Italian. So I went there to compete, and put it this way, they would call like double biceps pose, dupli bicipiti, right? I had no idea what they were asking, but I was just looking what everybody else was doing, and I was doing the same pose. To make long story short, I placed second in a light heavyweight division at that show, and I actually lost to the overall winner from Italy, that won overall show. And then president of federation from England came to me and started talking to me, and I didn't understand nothing, so I had some translator. He gave me invitation for Mr. Universe contest in Tucson, Arizona.
Nice.
Okay. So now here I am, right? Okay, president of federation, original invitation, all the shit. Like, okay. So I went home. I didn't think for a second that I could get a visa to go to America. I mean, here we go, right? Now, Behruz is waiting for visa all this time. 1987, Yugoslavian people, communistic country, all that. There was slim chances. But this is sporting event. I went to the embassy. I said, I want to represent my country. This is the show. I got the visa. Now I got the visa that I didn't expect it, right? And I was in university. It's in nutritional technology in Serbia, and I'm supposed to finish this, right? I didn't graduate it yet, but I have a chance to come to the United States, okay? And you're not going to get that chance often. So I couldn't tell my parents because they would not approve it. So I had to do it all on my own, and I had to make the money. How are you going to make the money? It's an expensive ticket and all that stuff, right? Standard of living was very low. But as I went to Yugoslavian Championship, I organized to do some guest posing, some commercials, some pictures with the weights, and I made just enough money, and I bought a ticket, and that's when I told my parents I'm going to United States to compete, and they were super mad at me. They figure out they're not going to give me any money, so I'm not going to be able to last, and I'm going to have to come back. Mind you, plus there was no one-way ticket. You could pay one-way ticket. I have a return ticket. So I had a return ticket, and that's what they were counting on. But as you ask, King, why did I go? I mean, epicenter of bodybuilding was, California.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It's beach.
you have to go there, right? But at that time, I had zero clue about drugs in sports.
You haven't.
So As a matter of fact, that magazine that I told you about with Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover, when I opened it, there was something that I translated, and there was that picture of Arnold, you know, with the crazy arms, the black and white photo that he looks like a monster. No anabolics, right?
True.
And listen, I mean, I am type of guy. I'm naive. I want to believe. I wouldn't lie. So why would anybody else lie? Who? Arnold didn't do nothing, you know, for sure, for sure, for sure. And when I came to America, I placed sixth in the Miss Universe first year, and then I entered a couple of shows in California right away. I competed every week. You know, if it's a show, I'm doing it, and I was having my ass kicked. You know, and this was when I realized, okay, if I want to stay here and make a career in bodybuilding, I better do what big boys do, and that's how I started in late '87. I started doing it, of course. Right away, I had to research as much as possible. Then I have to see it medically, you know, back up what is safe, what is not safe, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. And I don't know if I can talk.
You can definitely talk.
Can I mean, King is going to tell you that also. We, back in the day, when we were on, we were on. When we were off, we were off.
Absolutely.
And this is what nowadays people don't want to accept it. No, we are lying.
Yeah.
Hold on, Milos. This is a great point that you're making right now, because previously, when you were just talking a couple minutes ago, you were talking about not getting fat, staying lean throughout the year, and all that stuff. The kids nowadays, they think you mean staying on stuff all year round. Please explain the difference between staying on stuff and cleaning out.
Yes. So nutrition is one part, huge part of bodybuilding, and you should always eat only something that you want to integrate in your body. You don't put the garbage, because garbage is going to go into the garbage. You don't want to be a garbage, right? Correct. So you eat clean. You put as much protein, you maintain the muscle, you build the muscle. And calories, you know, energy, nutrients, you put according to what you're going to burn. Pharmacologically, it's easier to keep yourself clean and lean. Okay, so when you get off of pharmaceuticals, as King is saying, don't confuse the two. Okay, now you don't maybe have that fat burning effect and anabolic effect and all this stuff. You have to scale it down accordingly. But you watch and you look, you eat what is allowed and how much you need. As soon as I would see, okay, I'm getting a little bit loose and fat, no, I have to back off. And for me, that was obvious choice. For many people don't, because idea of, to get big, you have to just eat big and eat calories. I need that burger and fries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what is fries are going to do to you? Which part of the body you're going to build with the fries? You know, how healthy is going to be? Which glycogen storage is going to be filled up with the that trans fat from fries? You know, so I was not on that. But I have to say, we're all humans, and we love certain foods. I would allow certain foods, but throughout the years, I learned to make a healthy recipes of buffalo burger, for example, right? I mean, sushi is a fish and rice anyway. I would choose right sushi. I would, I was weak a little bit on pizza. I like pizza, but I found...
You love pizza. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Things like that. You just really